On April 7th, 2003, this Bradley fighting vehicle is screaming down Highway 8 as part of an armored column heading toward the heart of Baghdad. But those 800 soldiers are racing straight into an ambush, and they don't even know it yet. The Bradley slams into position at the highway interchange they're calling Objective Curly. This cloverleaf of concrete and steel is about to become the most important piece of real estate in Iraq. If Twitty loses this position, those soldiers downtown get cut off. No fuel, no ammunition, no escape. His gunner's eyes are glued to the gun sight, watching people multiply in the surrounding buildings. Something's wrong. There are way too many people moving out there.
Sir, I've got movement everywhere. Every building, every rooftop.
The loader slams a fresh belt of ammunition into the Bushmaster. Through the commander's sight, Twitty can see his other vehicles spreading thin across 3 critical interchanges. Not nearly enough firepower for what's coming. Downtown, the thunder of tank battles echoes between buildings. His radio crackles with urgent traffic. American forces are deeper in the city than anyone thought possible, and in exactly 30 seconds, every Iraqi fighter in Baghdad is going to try to cut them off. The dust cloud rising from the east is the first sign. It's too big for trucks, too organized for civilian traffic. Through the sight, Twitty watches the cloud grow larger, closer. Then the first T-72 emerges from the haze, its long barrel sweeping left to right, hunting. A second tank appears 30 meters to its right, then a third. They're in attack formation, moving with purpose. These aren't conscripts. These are Republican Guard, and they know exactly what they're doing.
Contact. 3 T-72s bearing 090, 800 meters.
The loader is already switching ammunition types, but everyone knows the math. A T-72's 125mm main gun can punch through a Bradley at 2,000 meters. The Bradley's 25mm might penetrate the tank's rear armor at point-blank range. Maybe. The gunner tracks the lead tank, waiting for Twitty's order.
Engage. Hit them before they get set.
The Bradley's 25mm cannon opens up, its distinctive rapid thumping drowning out everything else. 5-round bursts streak across the open ground. The tungsten rounds find their mark, sparking off the T-72's turret armor in bright orange flashes. But they're bouncing off like BBs on concrete. The impacts achieve nothing except announcing exactly where the Bradley is positioned. The lead T-72's turret stops traversing. It's found them. The massive barrel elevates slightly, then drops. That's the aiming sequence. They're about to fire. Hit the optics. Vision blocks. Blind them. The gunner shifts his aim point up, walking rounds from the hull to the turret top. The commander's periscope explodes in a shower of glass. The gunner's primary sight shatters. More rounds find the driver's vision blocks. The T-72 lurches to a stop, its turret spinning wildly left then right. The crew can't see. The driver, blind without his commander's directions, throws it in reverse. 40 tons of steel grinds backward, slewing sideways. The tank crashes into a concrete building with enough force to partially collapse the wall. The other 2 T-72s see their leader's fate. They pull back fast, disappearing behind buildings. But Twitty knows they're not retreating. They're repositioning. The radio comes alive with contact reports.
Mo's engaged. We've got 4 T-72s up here.
Another voice.
Larry taking heavy machine gun fire from the buildings.
The entire line is being hit simultaneously. This is coordinated. Then comes the whistling, that distinctive sound of incoming artillery. The first rounds impact 200 meters short, fountains of dirt and asphalt erupting skyward. They're ranging shots. The second salvo is closer, 100 meters, walking them in. Someone's watching from one of those buildings, calling in corrections. The third salvo brackets their position. 1 round long, 1 short, 1 left, 1 right. They've got the Bradley zeroed. The 4th round lands danger close. The explosion rocks the vehicle, shrapnel pinging off armor like hail. Concrete chunks from the overpass rain down. The next salvo will be right on top of them, but they can't move. Moving means abandoning the interchange. Through the sight, the buildings come alive. First, it's just movement in the windows, curtains shifting, shadows passing. Then fighters start appearing on rooftops. 1, then 3, then a dozen. They're carrying RPG launchers, moving in coordinated teams. Machine gun teams are setting up in windows, sandbagging positions. This isn't random resistance. This is organized. The first RPG launches from a building 200 meters north. Twitty watches the rocket motor ignite, the grenade corkscrewing through the air, trailing white smoke. Before the smoke clears, another launches from the east. This one's closer, exploding just 10 meters away. Then 3 more launch simultaneously from different directions. They're probing, testing the Bradley's reactions.
Engaging multiple targets.
The gunner starts with the closest RPG team, putting 5 rounds of 25mm into their rooftop position. The corner of the building explodes in dust and debris. He swings the turret left, Another team in a third-floor window. 3 rounds through the opening. The RPG launcher tumbles to the street below, but Twitty can see the problem developing through his sight. For every position they neutralize, 2 more appear. The enemy has the numbers. The Bradley's turret can't stop moving now. North for an RPG team, east for a machine gun position, south for fighters with AK-47s, west for another RPG. The 25mm fires in short, disciplined bursts. 3 to 5 rounds per target, just enough to neutralize without wasting ammunition. Windows explode in sequence as the gunner works his way across a building facade. Chunks of concrete rain down as rounds punch through walls. The coaxial machine gun handles the closer threats, its tracers creating a protective barrier. Empty shell casings pile up around the loader's feet. The brass is ankle-deep now, hot casings rolling with every movement of the vehicle. He kicks them aside while slamming another belt into the feed tray. 700 rounds remaining. The math is simple and terrifying. They started with 900, they're down 200, and the battle's just started. At this burn rate, they've got maybe 20 minutes of ammunition. More RPGs launch. This time, it's a coordinated volley. 6 rockets from 6 different positions, all timed to impact simultaneously. The Bradley's reactive armor takes 2 hits, the special tiles detonating outward to deflect the shaped charges. The explosions are big enough to lift everyone from their seats, helmets banging against the overhead. The armor holds, but they've only got so many reactive tiles. Each hit strips away protection. Then, Twitty sees it. A white sedan exits a side street 3 blocks away, accelerating hard. The way it sits low on its suspension, the way the driver's hunched forward, gripping the wheel, this is a car bomb.
Vehicle approaching, 200 meters.
The turret swings hard left, the stabilization system working to track the weaving car. 150 meters. The driver's accelerating, probably got his foot to the floor. The 25mm opens up. The first rounds spark off the road just behind the vehicle. The gunner's leading too much. He adjusts. The next burst walks across the hood. The engine block starts coming apart. 100 meters now, the car's still moving on momentum. 50 meters. The driver's compartment takes multiple hits. 20 meters. The vehicle finally slides to a stop, front wheels locked, tires smoking. The explosion shatters windows 3 blocks away. The shockwave races outward in a visible sphere, flipping a parked car completely over. The Bradley rocks backward despite its 20 tons. Everyone's ears ring despite their combat headsets. But there's no time to recover. 2 more cars are already accelerating from different directions. The turret can only engage 1 at a time.
Driver, pivot left. Hard left now.
The driver slams the left track brake while powering the right track. The entire Bradley spins on its axis, 20 tons rotating to bring the gun onto the closest car. It's a deadly math problem. Which car will reach them first? The Bushmaster hammers out a long burst, walking rounds across the sedan's front end. The windshield disappears. The car veers hard right, jumps a curb, flips twice, and detonates in a drainage ditch 50 meters away. The second car is 40 meters and closing when the turret finally comes around. The gunner doesn't wait for a perfect shot. He holds the trigger down. 10 rounds tear through the vehicle, but momentum carries the wreck forward. It slides to a stop just outside their position, maybe 20 meters away. The explosion peppers their armor with debris. A chunk of engine block clangs off the turret. 500 rounds remaining. The pace intensifies. More vehicles appear. Motorcycles weaving between concrete barriers with riders holding RPGs. Pickup trucks packed with fighters. Another sedan approaching from the north. The Iraqi fighters are trying to swarm them. The gunner tracks the sedan, lines up his shot, squeezes the trigger. Click. Nothing. He squeezes again. The gun is silent.
Guns down, feed jam.
The loader rips open the feed tray cover. Inside is mechanical chaos. The sedan keeps coming. 90 meters. The loader's hands work frantically, trying to clear the jam. He yanks at the twisted ammunition. 70 meters. Iraqi fighters in the buildings sense the Bradley's vulnerability. The volume of fire doubles instantly. RPG launches increase. 3, 4, 5 rockets in the air simultaneously. Machine gun fire from 3 buildings creates interlocking streams of tracers. The Bradley's armor sounds like it's inside a metal drum as hundreds of rounds impact. 50 meters. The loader extracts the deformed round, then another. A belt link breaks free. 30 meters. He can see the driver's face through the windshield. The loader clears the last piece of brass, slams the feed tray cover down, cycles the action.
Clear. Guns up.
The Bushmaster roars back to life with less than 3 seconds to spare. High explosive rounds tear through the car's front end, the engine disintegrating. The vehicle slides to a stop 15 meters from their position. Too close. Way too close. The explosion lifts the Bradley's front end completely off the ground. 20 tons of armor slams back down hard enough to crack teeth. Every warning light on the driver's panel flickers. Something in the turret hydraulics groans. They can hear fluid hissing. Something's leaking. Twitty checks his ammunition counter and his stomach drops. 300 rounds. That's it. 300 rounds, and the enemy knows they're hurting. Through his sight, Twitty spots infantry moving closer, using smoke and destroyed vehicles as cover. They're within small arms range now. AK-47 rounds start pinging off the armor in steady streams. An RPG team sets up in a doorway just 70 meters away. Danger close. The coaxial machine gun catches them before they can fire, but more appear immediately. The enemy is pressing in from all sides. The radio traffic tells the story of a battle going bad.
Thunder Main, this is Hammer 6. We're black on ammunition, engaging tanks with our last main gun rounds.
Another voice, stressed.
Objective Mo is being overrun. We've lost 2 Bradleys. Can't hold much longer.
Then the worst news.
Supply convoy is taking fire. Multiple casualties. Cannot proceed at this time.
Twitty does the math. 300 rounds. Hundreds of enemy fighters. No resupply coming. Downtown, 800 Americans are burning through their last ammunition. If Highway 8 gets cut, those soldiers have maybe 2 hours before their combat ineffective. Everything depends on holding this interchange with 300 rounds. Then the ground starts shaking. Something heavy approaching. Through the smoke and dust, a massive truck appears. Not a pickup, not a regular cargo truck. This is a 10-ton military truck, diesel engine roaring as it accelerates. The way it's riding, the way it's moving, it's packed with explosives, enough to turn the entire interchange into a crater.
Priority target, heavy truck, 12 o'clock.
150 rounds left in the gun. They can't miss, can't waste a single shot. Twitty takes manual control, overriding his gunner. At 200 meters, he fires the first careful burst. 5 rounds walk across the truck's massive grille. Steam explodes from the radiator in white clouds, but the truck keeps coming. The driver knows he just needs to get close. 100 rounds remaining. Twitty puts the second burst into the engine block. Tungsten rounds punch through the hood. He can see engine parts flying out. Oil sprays everywhere, black smoke pouring from the holes. The truck shudders, lurches left, then right. But 40 tons at 40 miles per hour has terrible momentum. 75 rounds left. Another burst into the cab. 5 rounds. The windshield disappears. 5 more. The steering wheel comes apart. The truck starts to slow, the destroyed engine seizing up. But it's still rolling. 50 meters, 40. Finally, mercifully, it grinds to a stop 35 meters from their position. Everyone stops breathing, waiting. No explosion. Either the detonator failed or they neutralized the driver first. But that truck is still there. Tons of explosives that could detonate at any moment. 50 rounds left for the main gun. The Iraqis know the Americans are almost done. They launch everything at once. RPG teams fire in volleys, 6 or 7 rockets simultaneously, creating overlapping blast patterns. Machine gun fire from 3 buildings creates interlocking fields of fire. The Bradley's armor sounds like it's in a hailstorm. Another sedan approaches from the east. 3 rounds to stop it. It explodes. 47 rounds. Infantry rush forward from doorways, AK-47s blazing. The loaders feeding the cokes constantly while watching the main gun counter drop. Another car bomb from the north. 10 rounds to stop it. Can't afford to miss. 34 rounds. The explosion rocks them again. A technical appears. Pickup truck with a heavy machine gun mounted in the bed. Its gunners already firing, heavy rounds sparking off their frontal armor, each impact like a sledgehammer. Twitty puts his last 20 rounds into it in one long burst. The truck flips, rolls twice, burns. Winchester on main gun. Main gun is dry. The counter reads 0. They're down to just the coaxial machine gun. 7.62 millimeter rounds against what looks like half of Baghdad. Through the sight, Twitty watches more vehicles massing 2 blocks away. Trucks, cars, even a bus, all loaded with fighters. They're preparing for the final assault. The Iraqis know the Americans are out of ammunition. They can taste victory. The radio crackles with the worst possible news.
All stations, supply convoy is pinned down. Multiple vehicles destroyed. Cannot proceed.
No ammunition, no reinforcements, no help coming. If things couldn't get even worse, the undamaged T-72s spread out using buildings for cover. Without the 25mm, the Bradley is defenseless against tanks. The lead T-72's gun elevates, pointing directly at them. The gunner traverses the empty 25mm toward them anyway. The T-72 fires. The round screams overhead and detonates against an overpass pillar behind them, a ranging shot. The second T-72 adjusts its aim. The loader frantically tries to reach emergency ammunition buried under brass casings. Iraqi infantry surge forward, hundreds of them. The coaxial sweeps back and forth but can't stop them all. The lead T-72's barrel flashes. The tank explodes, then the second, then the third. M1A1 turbine engines scream as American tanks crest the overpass, their 120mm guns destroying every enemy vehicle in sight. Bradleys spread across the interchange, their fresh 25mm cannons engaging the infantry. The relief force has arrived. The supply convoy races up Highway 8, fuel trucks, ammunition carriers, water, medical vehicles. Everything the surrounded forces downtown desperately need. The highway is open because one Bradley with an empty gun refused to move. Want to know more? We can't show it all here without YouTube slapping this video with a warning. But we can show you on Patreon. To watch the full-length video completely uncensored, subscribe to my Patreon page, where there are no restrictions on what we can tell and show you there. Scan the code or use the link in the description now to watch the full video. Bye for now.